welcome back. We all get downers, and last week was a definite downer. Put all that effort in and it just went to crap. So I said this week I was going to reapproach these mudguards, and reapproach I have done. The checker plate that I said I was going to put on, well, I went down the yard and got some today, and instead of just cutting it all out to the shape of the wheel arch, I did something slightly different. I removed the rubber for starters, and this is what we got. Here you go. And I think that looks so much better. Way much better. Now, some of you guys have been suggesting about floorboards. I wasn't going to do that because the archway was too thin and I didn't think it would work, but now after I've put that on, I chunkied out that, sorry for the way I use my words, but that's exactly what it is. It's now a chunky wheel arch. It might work putting some floorboards on. So I could actually weld an extra piece of steel to the end of that there. Not necessarily have a join, but I could weld on there and go across, and then weld another piece onto that steel all the way along there with some bolting points for that. And we could now put, if we wanted, some kind of floorboarding on there. Still not 100% sure that is what I want to do, but it could be done and it would actually blend in and it would work. So the next thing to do to that wheel arch is to put a piece on top. So we'll cut another piece out, but we're not doing it today because this was only ever an experiment. I actually want to get on the internet later on and see if I can find some more glass. Speaking about glass, literally they did that overnight. I put it up there the day before, perfect, not an issue. So much care and attention had gone into that. And then I came out the following evening, afternoon, show my son what I'd done, and I just looked at it like, you got to be kidding me, right? And there it was, a whopping great crack. This is what I think has happened. Firstly, the framework is very tight. It's not tight around the glass, but when you put the sealant in there to hold it in place, it's tight. That's the other issue. All of these windows that I've been looking at have got rubber seals inside them. I'm assuming that allows everything to move around. There is no movement in that. Now that is glued in place, if the metal moves, the glass is not going to move with it, so what's it going to do? It's going to crack. That's my own opinion on that. So I think the next ones I do, I'm going to scrap these completely. Thanks to Kev Kalber Designs for putting me onto this glass company. I've come up with some new ideas. Years ago at the local scrappers where I go, there was a truck down there that dated back to the 50s. It was a coach build truck. It was quite a weird looking thing, and he had for windows, windscreens, those horse boxy style windows. Now I've got a lot of them lying around. I'll give you an idea of where I'm heading. So my thoughts on this are, and at the moment it looks daft, this is a concept, an idea, this is not how it's going to go. I've spoken to the glass company. They even said to me they can cut me a windscreen, but at my own risk. So if they do break it on their CNC machine, it's on me, okay? But anyway, cut a long story short, I can make up an aluminium frame that could maybe fit inside that steel frame that I've already constructed. It's just a thought at this stage, but I don't see any reason why it shouldn't work out. All of the metal work can be attached to the metal, and then all I've got to do is screw that onto that. So yes, the hinges will have to be moved and remanufactured, but everything else should still be good to go. Hey guys, I think I have just found out or discovered what broke my glass. Trying to get in a comfortable position with this camera. Right, I welded that bracket on there. There you go. See that gap? Look where the bend starts. Right at the beginning. There. Look where the crack starts. Right at the beginning. And I had this in the open position overnight. I suspect it put too much pressure on. And doosh, that went. Now let's go and check the other one. There we go, that's better. See the gap? Yeah, I reckon that's what that was. So conclusion is the steel might not be thick enough. It might not have a wider gap for the glass. Maybe it needs to be a bit wider, maybe, I don't know. I do know if it was to start rusting inside, it would expand and take the glass out. It has done exactly the same thing. Where I cut that out, because I didn't cut it accurately and I left gaps, I welded the gaps up, the welder pulled it in. This is the only logical conclusion I can come to. Look at that. As you get further up. And this glass also broke at that point as well. So yeah, I think we've just discovered why it smashed. And I reckon it'll be the same here and all. Before I make any decision on what I'm doing, there is just one more thing I want to show you. And I hope, oh, listen to that cracking. I hope you can see this. Here. Right. Screwdriver, that'll do. Right, listen. That has actually raised over a good millimetre. Okay, I don't know if you can see that on the camera. Possibly not. But you can see where the laminate inside is actually separated from the glass. Watch this. This is how bent my frame is. I go. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, I think you can. That's why it cracked. That's why the other one cracked. Everything was going perfectly up until the point I put the flat pieces in on the ends, and those were bent because I cut into those areas instead of laying it flat on top. I cut into them, and that was the big fatal flaw that I made on these windows. So with that in mind, I ain't cutting any more of these. I really am I'm too bloody scared to do another one. The problem I've got several ideas going on, but I've got to pick one, and I can't pick any of them at the moment because it all involves a piece of glass potentially getting broken. The final piece of jigsaw. You see that? I've hit it with WD, so I've now put muck inside the area, unfortunately. It's still a bit wet, some of this sealant, but take my word for it, there is a chip there, and that's where these two lines start. It was that one, and then it was that one, and there is a chip right there. So that says something wedged itself against that, based on the fact that the frame was bent, based on the fact that there's something lumped into the side of that wall. Oh, I can't find one. Got crap everywhere. I need to have a clear up. No. Over a wire brush. Cleaned it up now. There you go. There is a whopping great chip out of that, and that chip wasn't caused when I was cutting this line. I know that because if you look closely, you'll see I've sanded the edge, and it doesn't go in there from what I can work out, apart from the fact I have just hit it with a wire brush actually. So I don't know, but that chip wasn't there. I know that for a fact. I never made that chip when I cleaned up, but I want to point something out, because inside here, right down there, I don't know if that's visible to any of you, right there, can you see that? Blob of weld on the bottom half of that corner. Look where that chip is. Huh. Oh, the bottom half of that corner. I didn't clean this up properly inside, and I suspect I did the same on the other one as well. My biggest flaw on these windows was putting that bracket, incorporating it into the frame instead of putting it over the frame. That was the mistake I made. It caused that crack, which then caused that to go up there and that one to go all the way up there. Ignore all of these, because I did that trying to get this blasted thing off because the stuff is that tough. That is what caused the window to smash. Period. Okay, another day. Managed to get that piece of checker plate put on yesterday, and that is pretty much all I have done. Today I'm getting some belts for the sander, so we're going to rub that bit down and get that lip gone and make up a new piece of checker to go over that area, and we'll make up another piece to go inside here. But what I'm also planning to do this week, and I'm probably not going to do much more than that, I'm going to upload the video, is I want to get the checker plate made for the bumper. So we're going to trim this off somewhere and we'll rivet it in down here, and then we'll bolt it in through there, trim that all up with a grinding disc, and I think maybe we'll put a piece of angle across here as well as a support with a load of rivets in there as well. And I'm going to do that on both sides. Okie dokies, we cut that old bumper down today. Now my neighbours have gone on holiday, which gives me 5 days, because they're the only ones that sort of pick up on the noise. And we've got all of this to do, so the next video will not be the glass, it will actually be the scuttle, because I've got to get that done. So we're just finishing off here. I cocked it up a little bit there, but I've got a light guard I want to build over that, so I'll just build a bracket onto there and hide that. That's not the greatest of ideas, but it's the only one I've got at the moment. I've shortened the bumpers because I didn't like them really long. I'm not quite sure I did the right thing going that short though, I'll openly admit. I'll worry about that at a later date. If the MOT is a problem, then I'll obviously have to cut them wider and put new checker plate in place, but for now that is all I'm prepared to do on them. We're just doing the side checker plate here as I spoke, and we'll get that one piece on, and then I'm just literally going to upload this video. The next video is the scuttle area. It's urgent this gets done, because I've got all of the mechanics to sort out as yet, and I can't do that until I've got this bit done, because I need the bulkhead to bolt stuff too. So we're going to cut that across to there and down. We're going to get rid of those points, cut a new piece of steel, weld that in place and down, and then we're going to shape it to match. We're also going to sort this gap out. I was going to use some rod for that, but I'm going to use angle iron if I can, and I'm going to slice the angle iron really thin, so it fits that gap in on all of the angles that you can see on both sides. And that's pretty much the next video. I have the materials coming for the glass to see if I can process the glass. If that works, and it will cut old glass as well as new, I'm going to get an old lorry windscreen and I'm going to have a go at making 2 new windows, and I know where I went wrong, so hopefully this time we'll go right and get it right the 3rd attempt on that one. So I'll just finish off what I'm doing, and then I'll upload this one, and that'll be the weekend's video. Right, we're done for the day and for the week on this video. Bit difficult to show you this side because the fence is in the way, so there you go. That's that wheel arch, poorly done. It is terrible. I'll be the first to admit it. So we've got that wing done, we've got the wing tops done, that wing top is done, the bumperettes, and there is one more thing to do, but I'm not doing it today. On that bottom of that bumper, I am thinking about putting 2 tubes like that heavy shit down there, welded in underneath the bull bar, going straight across possibly. Not sure how that will work out, because I need to do the sides first. If I decide to drop the sides down lower, then those bull bars or those bars that I want to put underneath will go down and will be capped off at the end, and then another piece of checker going over the top. So I've got a second step to climb up onto that, so I climb up onto that, and then I can get to over there or wherever it is I'm doing, because there's a luggage rack to go on as well at some point when I get around to building it. In fact, I know where there's one sitting on somebody's roof. I wonder if I can scrounge it. Old 60s style one that he built. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, that's it for this edition. I didn't put much effort in, apologies for that, but there's been a lot go on in our lives these last few days. Not going into that. Didn't really like the last video myself, and no, I didn't deliberately break the glass. We now know how that broke. I did speak to the Morris Minor people that I got that glass from, and they agreed as well. The heat, the extreme heat we had, because it cracked in the centre, that heat caused that glass to expand, and the metal expand, sorry, and that made it worse. So yeah, everything was going well until that happened, but we will pick that glass up again at a later date. I was hoping next week, but now they're on holiday. Next video, and I shall start work tomorrow, is this. I want to get that done, because once we've got that done, as I said before, we can get that engine plumbed up. I'm really looking forward to moving this up there so we can get that off, because everything is driving me up the wall at the moment, because that is still on there. So with that, I'm going. Catch you all later. Bye bye.